Welcome back. You're still watching Power Breakfast on CNBC-TV18. We spoke about the global market action, a lot of rate hikes, a lot of central bank action, and the resultant result has been weak global markets. But how will these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with just that, the trade setup, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you. Rima, it's a Friday, first of all, so happy Friday to all of you. But tell us about the market cues today.
Well, I know you're the most excited person on a Friday, so it's great that, when you welcome us all saying happy Friday. But just on that point about central bank action, this week we've seen rate hikes worth amounting to 587.5 bips. That's massive, right? We've been only talking about the big ones like Fed, ECB, Bank of England, but there were so many others like Swiss National Bank, the Taiwanese, the Philippines, Denmark, Norway. All of them had their final policy rate hike, and all of them have gone ahead and raised interest rates. But anyway, talking about the setup right now, expect the markets to trade weak given the global sentiment and the upcoming holiday season. Asian markets, as you've been pointing out, are currently under pressure, and the SGX 50 is also lower by 70 basis points. We've seen a very sharp sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow was down more than 700 points, its worst one-day performance in September. The S&P 500 lower by 2.5%, and the Nasdaq slipping 3.2%. European indices too down 3 to 3.5%. On expected lines, the ECB, Bank of England and the Swiss National Bank have gone ahead and raised rates by 50 basis points. While this was on expected lines, the rest of it was actually far more hawkish. Look at the statements that we've got from the ECB President, Christine Lagarde. She stressed that if you compare with the Fed, we have more ground to cover, we have longer to go, we're not slowing down, we're in for the long game. She stressed that significant future rate rises at a steady pace were still to come. And plus, there is that quantitative tightening which is going to come in March. So while the rate hikes were on expected lines, the rest of the commentary seemed to suggest that there is no pivot in sight, and central banks continue to stick to being hawkish as their script. Talking about the flows, the DIs bought 261 crore in the cash market. The FIs sold 711 crore in the cash market. The FIs were net sellers after 2 days of buying, while for the DIIs, it was the 7th consecutive day of buy figure. Not large in terms of overall quantum, but considering that the DII sold in the month of November, the fact that they're buying in December is a good news, and that's offsetting the selling that we're seeing from the FIs. Back to you.
All right, okay, so that is the market setup. Rima, thank you for that. And over to Vahishta now, who will list out all the stocks in focus today. Vahishta.
Hi, good morning. Let me start with Wipro, wherein Mazda Europe selects Wipro for application transformation in a 5-year multi-million-dollar deal. Moving on to Deepak Fertilizers, which announces a demerger of its mining chemicals and fertilizer business. Kajaria, a joint venture agreement is executed on the 15th of December between Kajaria International DMCC, which is in UAE, a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, and Al Ratat Marble Factory, which is also in UAE, and the purpose of this agreement is to run the business of glazed vitrified tiles, sanitary ware, marbles, etc. in UAE through a company which is called as Kajaria RMF Trading, by way of acquiring its shares in an equal ratio, which is in 50-50% on a joint venture basis. Moving on to Hindustan Foods, the company is going to acquire Reckitt Benckiser's Healthcare India Khasra manufacturing facility for approximately 150 crores, and this facility is engaged in the manufacturing of pharmaceutical as well as non-pharmaceutical products. Shriram Pistons and Rings to acquire 51% stake in EMF Innovations for about 80 crores. KPI Green signs a long-term power purchase agreement for the sale of 7.5 megawatt solar power with Tata Motors. And the last is GMM Pfaudler, which is a source-based information. The promoter is likely to have sold 1.34 crore shares, which is equivalent to 29.88% via a block deal, and the floor price for the block deal is fixed at 1,700 rupees per share. That is equivalent to 12% discount to its current market price. Back to you.
Okay, so the expectation is that this could be the block deal. It has not been sold yet. Vaishta, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. Let me go across to Manglam now, who's joining in with all the cues from the F&O space this morning. Hey, Manglam.
Good morning. So this is a Friday, but one has to brace oneself for, Freaky Friday, so to say. The reason why I say that was because yesterday wasn't a good day of trade. We opened lower and then we kept trudging lower until the last hour of trade, where the decline was much faster. And that was followed by weakness in the US markets. And now the SGX Nifty is indicating that the cut could be even lower. While the Nifty closed above the 18,400 mark, that was purely a function of the last hour averaging. In fact, the last tick was way below that 18,400 mark itself. The FIs, they sold in the cash market, 711 odd crores. The DIs bought, but there was a net outflow of almost 450 odd crores. The December futures premium, we've been talking about that over the last few days. You know, it was at one point above that 100 mark and now has, nudged lower and now is at around 52 odd points itself. So that's telling you there was further selling by FIs, not only in cash, but in index futures as well, almost 2,000 crores. What did they do? They unwound nearly 10,000 longs, added about 10,000 shorts. And this is something that they've been doing over the last few days. So as a result of which the FI longs, which just a couple of days ago were at 61%, have now gone to around 54%, which is the lowest that we've seen in this series so far. The Nifty is now below important levels, 20-day moving average and the 20-day exponential moving average as well. So those marks will be resistances on the way up. The Nifty 50-day exponential moving average is at 18,170. So that is something we'll be watching out for. Yesterday, the put writers were pretty active for the next week. But if I'm looking at the Nifty Bank has support around 300 points lower, which is 43,185 and 43,142, both the 20-day moving average and the exponential moving average. So those are marks that we'll be watching out for on that particular index as well. I was talking about options, 18,400 put, adding around 15 lakh shares for a premium of 100 rupees, telling you that maybe 18,250 to 300 would be the first mark that the bulls would look to defend. If not, then we'll have to go back to the 18,150 mark, which is the 50-day exponential moving average. Just keep an eye out on the put-call ratio, which is below 0.9. It's at 0.88. But remember, for it to actually become oversold, it would have to go towards 0.7 to 0.75. So all things set for a slightly freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, but it's Friday nevertheless, right, guys? Thank you so